lunchtime smoke break. Smoking kind of a, it's not a custom built, and it's a little thin in the shank for me. Maybe the proportions are a little long and thin. But I was in cargo hold this weekend in Paulsbo, talking to Doug. It's always fun. And picked up a little bit of what he calls trade winds from his bulk tobacco. It's MacBaren Special Virginia. I'm looking for an aromatic, a light aromatic, that still smokes nice. I know everybody is. I'm such not a burley guy that, although I have had a couple of decent burleys, but generally I just don't like them. So this is Virginia, and it does smoke like a Virginia. Has kind of a grassy quality to it. No particular bite. And the baggy room note is nice. The tin note. So I'll have to get in a situation where I have an audience who can tell me how it smells. Non-smoking critical audience. So anyway, this pipe, he thought I might enjoy it, so he had given it to somebody else who didn't really take the pipe smoking. It's a Courtley Supreme, probably from the 50s, early mid-60s. Kind of a custom-built knockoff. See, when you talk, it's hard to keep things lit. So, God only knows what they're doing down there. Or driving a piling or something. So what I did with this pipe is I just gently reamed the bowl out with my Swiss Army knife that has the broken off tip that I kind of filed into a smooth shape so it didn't gouge at the bottom. Just get the majority of cake off. Then I put a little, it's warm now, so I'm not going to undo the bit from the shank. But I put a little beeswax on the tenon. It was really tight. And that just lubes it right up. If it's too loose, it kind of fills it in. It's amazing. Organic beeswax. Buy little blocks of it. I think Doug had some that he got at Joanne's fabric store. I've gotten mine at the local health food store. So. Mr. Raven. I love that sound in the woods. Yeah. So I cleaned the bit out pretty good with a little alcohol. In my case, I use rum, but just because it's cheap. In a pipe cleaner, and I get in there and I can clean it out. And then I reamed out the shank to 5/32. I think that, assuming the bit is cleanable and creates a clear airway, I think the 5/32 shank is, or a smoke hole, is the thing that makes a indifferent smoking pipe smoke pretty good. And this smokes pretty good. Sorry, a little wet. Drooling. This is the second smoke in this pipe, so. MacBaren's nice. It's kind of docile. But it does have a little of that brighter grassy quality that a decent Virginia does. And I like that. That gives me a little something, rather than nothing at all that a burley gives me, except bite. So these were probably just drugstore pipes back in the day. Yeah, cheap. But I think any pipe can be. Oh, and then I put my little vinyl bit on. That's 3/8. Giving me something to chew on without, you know, the little rubber softy bits don't last me very long. I like to do stuff with my hands, so nothing. So this is a nice light pipe, so it's good for that. The bit is just wide enough. So good. Thank you, Doug. Yeah, if you ever have a chance when you're in Paulsbo or in Kitsap County heading over to the Olympic Peninsula or whatever, you got to stop in Carver Lake because it's a great place. It's a guy toy store. And honestly, it's really the only pipe shop on this side of the water from Seattle, and he's got a lot of selection in there. He really does. And some less expensive basket pipes and some of those Savinelli unfinished pipes, you know, that are nice, but reasonably priced. So, yeah, it's good. And some real nice high-end pipes that you can go, plus, he's quite the raconteur. I don't get to use that $5 word very much, so there's my annual usage. A storyteller. Interesting pipe and tobacco focused story. It's good. It's really good. It's fun. So I watched, I don't do it very much. I have a subscription to Netflix, and I like hardly ever use it. I'd just rather be reading or something usually. Last night I was just kind of in the mood for a movie. I looked at what was showing locally. I always keep in my wallet, I go to Costco and buy those reduced price tickets, you know. Just so I have it there in case it kind of frees you up. Oh, I've got this ticket. Yeah. Okay, let's go. So that helps. But I don't know. On the weekends, I'm hard to wedge out of the house. So anyway, I watched. When was it made? 1967. Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West. Charles Bronson, Henry Fonda. I mean, quite the cast. It was just throughout. Jason Robards, Claudia Cardinale. I mean, it was a great cast, and that kind of strange movie making style that is uniquely his. You know, those spaghetti westerns. It's very enjoyable. I was going to watch True Grit, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. I'll save that. But you know, a lot of the theme of these movies, I mean, westerns, it's a whole, you could do a semester in film on westerns alone and you still would just scratch the surface, I think. But one of the topics, I'm not talking the formula here, but just sort of the overall topic is bullying. And I think people have a little greater awareness of bullying. In schools, there's been some emphasis put on that, which is really good. And it's kind of hit home for me because I was bullied as a kid. Even though I was a big kid, honest, if you're a big kid, you're a weenie, probably. They think you're tough, but you never have to fight because you're big, you know? So it's those little scrappy guys you got to worry about. They know how to fight. So anyway, through that lens of bullying, you know, you can see a lot of how the conflict arises in these westerns, and it's like bullying. So I've been bullied out at Big Valley with vandalism and stuff. So that's kind of coming to, if you document your stuff well, eventually just the wheels of justice move slowly. And certainly they haven't moved very far here. But there is an arraignment coming up at the end of the month. So we'll see if that takes care of it. With a lot of bullies, that does not take care of it. So we'll see. Probably an ongoing topic. I'll bet a lot of you guys have been bullied in your past too. And ironically, when I was a kid, I was bullied. I actually bullied a kid for a short period myself. And it just felt kind of dirty. It felt mean. It felt unkind. It felt rude. It felt pretty awful. There was a little feeling of power there, though, I gotta say. And I think that's probably the key for a lot of bullies. So I said, whoa, what am I doing? And I apologized and so forth. I hope it did not have a long-term effect on this kid, because he was a great kid, you know, honestly. I mean, everybody has wonderful potential. He was quirky, but he certainly didn't deserve anything that and I was really lightweight as a bully, I know, but it was still bad, bad Tom. So I did apologize. I apologized to his parents. I was completely appalled at myself. I think I was 12 or 13. Terrible. But I believe that was a result of being bullied myself. And I think that's why bullies perpetuate it, because they're insecure, they've been bullied, they discover a way to get a little power, and it feels good to them. You know, they've just probably never had that. So, but it's not good, hopefully. So that's kind of on my mind. I'm doing a statement for the court, and so I'm having to think about all this. And it just dredges all that up from your past, you know. As kids, what's the old saying? We are now who we were then. So, in many ways, we're very much the same people we were when we were kids. You know, we're just older, hopefully wiser, a lot more experience, probably a lot more defensive walls built, probably a lot more, defense strategies. So, it's been a very thoughtful weekend. Most weekends, huh? But to get back to pipes, you can make a really good smoking pipe out of an old cob, you know, I mean, literally, but I mean, any crappy old pipe can be made to smoke well, I think. Yeah. I mean, the elements have to be there, but it isn't magic. It's engineering. And it's really not very complex engineering, honestly. Doug, after I reamed the pipe here to 5/30 seconds, I shined a light through, and he was saying that there's an old bit of pipe wisdom that says when you shine a light through like that, inside the bowl, you should see an hourglass. I'd never heard that. But we did it, and what do you know? On some of his pipes in the shop, there was the hourglass. We have to do a video on that. Anyway, I'm going to get back to it. So, more random thoughts in the woods. What's that tree?